will have the better understanding the types of vessels. Modern seagoing commercial vessels come in all shapes and size and are designed to carry a wide variety of cargoes.
For latest updates, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon.
Types of vessels, uses and names, Part-2, Export-Import Business, India.
Let's move on to the liquid cargo ships. These vessels, collectively known as tankers, carry a range of liquid cargoes. Tankers were first developed in mid-19th century when ships made of iron allowed liquids to carried in bulk, economically and without leakage. Like bulk carriers, economies of scale have driven up the size of tankers, and today the largest examples have a carrying capacity or dead weight of over 400,000 tons, which is very big in scale. You can identify from the tonnage capacity of the dead freight of the same vessel itself. So let's further go into the detail for different types of carriers which are there, which falls under this category, liquid cargo ships. So there are four different type of carriers or vessels, rather you can consider under the liquid cargo vessels. First one is crude carriers, second is product carriers, third is chemical carriers, and fourth is liquefied gas carriers. Gas with certain amount of pressure, it changes the form into liquid. Let's have the better clarity for first, the crude carriers. The largest ships afloat are the very large crude carriers, which is also known as VLCCs, and the ultra large crude carriers, which is known as ULCCs. These ships are designed to load crude oil and transport it to refineries around the world, where it can be processed into petroleum products. The largest crude carriers often load and unload at offshore buoys and terminals, as they are too large to enter most ports. So even for some locations, it is required to have a different small size tanker vessels also required to be able to the offload the crude material from the big size or ultra large crude carriers vessels, and then further move it to the terminal tanks. Then we move out for the second part, which is product carriers. These vessels, which are generally smaller than crude carriers, transport the refined product from larger terminals to smaller ports. As I have explained earlier, these are the types of carrier which are used for the internal movement, or where on which terminal or ports where the ultra large size vessels cannot accommodate and cannot have the offloading. There this type of product carriers comes into handy. Products carried include petroleum, jet fuel, diesel, asphalt, lubricating oil and tar. Smaller tankers are also used to transport non-petroleum bulk liquid such as molasses and palm oil. So the edible oil can also be moved into this small size tanker vessels, but mainly used for the offshore movement, or within the country there are offshore connectivity which are there. It is very easy and economic way of transport mode. Then comes the chemical carriers. These ships usually have the dead weight of 5,000 to 40,000 tons and often have a specialized cargo system suited on to the type of cargo carried. These systems can include heating or cooling apparatus and advanced cleaning systems to ensure the cargo maintains its purity when loaded into the multi-purpose tanks. So the chemical vessels had to make sure the crew are very up to the expectation and requirement of the particular nature of chemical which they are moving. Also they have to be very sensitive during the transition and during the movement on water as well, to avoid any spillovers which can harm further the ecosystem as well. Then the last part, liquefied gas carriers. These ships began as converted oil tankers but have evolved into highly specialized purpose built vessels designed to carry liquefied petroleum gas, which is known as LPG, what we usually use in our the homes as well, or liquefied natural gas, which is known as LNG. Under pressure, the cargo tanks are generally spherical for strength. LNG carriers are usually larger than those carrying LPG. The largest LNG carriers are the Q-Flex. Vessels with a gas capacity of up to 266,000 cubic meters. Just by understanding the numbers into cubic meter itself, you can identify the size and nature of the vessel itself. Strength of the vessel is very vital because at huge amount of this, the pressurized gas, the outer layer and the walls need to be that strong enough to carry the pressure, and the movement of the cargo is also very easy out.
Thank you for watching this video. The other types of vessels are continued in the next video. Types of vessels, uses and names, Part 3, Export-Import Business, India. Do watch the same.
For detailed learning of all logistics subjects, visit www.logiveda.com.